Hi, traders, and welcome to the weekly market review. I'm your host, Paul. This is where I'm going to use wave analysis to look at possible patterns and important price levels in the market. We're going to look at the S&P, the Nasdaq, some select stocks, and Bitcoin. So let's get started. As usual, we'll look at the upcoming economic calendar, and we have a very busy week next week. Even though it's going to be a short week, 4 days due to the holiday in the U.S. on Monday, markets will be closed. Things kick off on Tuesday. We got ISM manufacturing. Wednesday, you got the JOLTS job openings. Thursday, you got services PMI, and then the big one, non-farm payrolls. So I think these other three will be important. The market is definitely going to react on each one of them. But this non-farm payroll, I think, will be huge. Market got a scare last month when the 114 came out. Consensus for this number coming out is 163. So I think any number, probably like something like above 150, and the market is going to be very relieved, and I think the market will take off then. So I think Friday will be a very volatile day, given where this number comes in at. So be ready for that. All right, let's get on to the charts. And we're going to start with the S&P. This is the futures contract, continuous contract. Price action up here, it's getting quite choppy. And the way this went up here, from right here, it's just a three-wave move. So I wasn't expecting that because it looks very much like this is a 1, 2, and then we got a 3, and I was expecting this to be a 4. Now, there's one pattern in play that this could be making a triangle, because you got 3 there, you got 3 up, and you got 3 down. And so if this comes up 1, 2, and they just break this 5, 6, 6, 9, and 3, but then reverse hard, this could all be the fourth wave in a triangle. So this fourth wave might not be not be here. It might actually be over here, because this didn't end the way it should. It only was 3 waves. So it's not clear to me yet exactly what the pattern is. I was expecting this a 5-wave move to go break this 5721. So I was really hoping that this was 1, 2, 3, and then somewhere over like here would be 4. And then they'd be going up. But the way that is, it's not clear what this is. So I want to see the reaction when they break this 5669. I would assume that they'll do that on Monday. It's so close. Because if it just does that, breaks it, but then really starts to sell off hard, then I think this is all a triangle in that A, B, C, D, and then they'll come down for the E wave. And then go back up for that 5th and final wave. So the S&P, to me, not quite clear, but I'd only want to be in the buy. I don't know if I'd really be buying the S&P right here, because once it breaks that 5721 at any moment, you're ending the 5th of the 5th wave. So there's going to be a correction then, a big correction. So the S&P, if it were to come down, I think then that's a really good buying opportunity down here to go back up. But to buy it right here doesn't make a lot of sense. All right, let's move on to the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq obviously has a substantially more to go to break its high. You got 7% left, so I'd definitely be looking for buys on the Nasdaq, even if you're not in, because you got at least 7% to break that high. Now this pattern so far, there's a couple of patterns that could be in play. Definitely have a 1, 2, and a 3. And so far we just have an ABC in a perfect spot for the 4. So I'm looking for an impulse. And so this could be 1, 2, 3. This could be 4. And now this could be on its way for that 5th wave to go break the high. And then so far you would have like a 1 and a 2 And then I'd be expecting very strong move for 3, 4, and 5 to complete that fifth wave. That's the most bullish pattern, that this is all going to be an 5-wave impulse. Obviously, the other pattern is, because we only have 3 waves up, that this could be A, B, and a C. And this is actually just the A wave. A, B, C down, that's just the A wave. And then this is just going to do this. 1, 2, 3 waves, like an A, B, C. And then it's going to reverse hard to come underneath that Wednesday low again. Probably more like into the upper 18,000s. And then this could be going up to break the high, but it's going to go up in a diagonal. And that ABC, that was 1. And then this is all going to be 2. And then it's going to reverse for the 3, and then go down for the 4, and then still go up for the 5. So got to wait and see what the pattern is going to be, but for sure I only want to be buying the Nasdaq. It's just a matter of, is this going up impulsively? And we got our 1, 2, 3, and 4 in, and now we're going up for the 5th and final wave? Or is this going to be a diagonal? It's just going to take a little longer, because then this will be 1, and then it's going to have to come back down for 2, and then go up for 3, 4, and 5, and it'll just be more choppy. So got to wait and see once they break 19,690 what happens, because if it goes and breaks this 2025, then I think they're going not in a straight line, but this will be a 5-wave move for that 5th wave. But yeah, I only want to be buying the Nasdaq. All right, let's move on to some stocks. AMD. Now, AMD actually looks relatively weak. I'd still want to be buying it, but when I drill in, it looks to me like you had a 1, 2, 3-wave move up, but now coming down, it looks like a diagonal to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a big 5th wave. So if this is going up, they'd be going up in a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, that was 1. And then you got 5 waves. This should be correcting. It's already come once into this purple zone. I think they'll probably break it one more time into this. Well, they'll get above 149, probably, 150, 151, could go higher. But after that 5-wave move, I'd expect a 3-wave correction. So actually just one more little push higher, and that'll be enough for a 3-wave. And then at some point, then they'll come back down. And I could definitely see them targeting like 140, and something like under 142, let's say, into the 140, 141 range. And then that could be 2. And then it's going to take off. Because I still see AMD as going. This was all very corrective. Now, the other pattern that I've been talking about is a diagonal. And that was 1, 2, 3. And this 3-wave move up was 4. And so then that would mean that this 5-wave move is actually the start of the 5th wave down. So I'd only be watching the price action in this green box. So 137 to basically 142, let's say. Watching for a buy here. Because if price blows through that green box, then I think it is coming all the way down underneath 121. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they'll come back down for 5. And then this is a great buy underneath 121, because there'll be a big correction after that happens. So this green box, I think, is really important for AMD. Definitely be looking for a buy there, but I'd probably have a tight stop loss. Because once it breaks, let's say 137, then you got to start wondering if this isn't going down for the 5th wave. All right, Amazon. All right, so I've had to relook at this one. This price action here hasn't been making much sense. Now it looks to me like Amazon actually already had its 5 waves in a diagonal format. So 1, 2, 3, that was 1. And then you got 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now this looks like they've made an expanding flat. So A, 1, 2, 3 for B. And I think this is the one that tripped me up. I think this is 1 to here. I think this is an ABC for 2. I think this is 3, 4, 5. So I think all in all, this is an ABC expanding flat correction. And now Amazon's going up to break the 201 high. So obviously I'm wrong if they come back down and break that low. But for right now, definitely looks like we've got the start of a 5-wave move. You got your 1 and you got your 2. And like everything else, when it comes and breaks this 182, I'd be very interested to see the reaction. Because if it just breaks it and then reverses hard, then I'm going to have to relook at what this whole thing is. Because this is not going to be an expanding flat if it comes ripping down here. But I would expect this to be like a 1, 2. And so then you'll probably get like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the third wave. Correct for 4 and then go back up and break the all-time high. So I'd only be looking for buys. But once you break 201, I think you got to be really careful. Because I think this is going to have a big correction. So let's see if this can push up and break this 182. And then let's watch the reaction there. All right, let's move on. I got some new stocks that someone gave me to look at. I'm going to look at SIRI. Got to go out to a daily chart on this. And actually, I got to go all the way out to a weekly chart. All right, so SIRI, as usual, when a new stock, it explodes up and then big 3-wave correction all the way down to 4 cents. So now this is looking to me like you got 1, 2, 3 waves there, and then 1, 2, 3 waves there. So SIRI actually looks really good, unless you think SIRI's going out of business. This 3-wave correction up to here, that was all the correction, and now it's going to come back down and break its low, which means it's basically going to 0. So I would not think that that's in play. So if that 3-wave is 1, and then this 3-wave move down here to $2 is 2, should be going up for the 3rd wave now. So this one looks really interesting. And if we can zoom in on just this piece here, go down to a daily. Looks like they're going up in a diagonal, because then you'd have 1, 2, 3. That's 1. 1, 2, 3. That's 2. And now they're going to start their ascent for the 3rd wave. Now, it's not clear exactly what's going on here, because this, you got like a 1, 2 there, and then you got another 1, 2, and then you got another 1, 2. So taking a buy on this wouldn't be bad. It's just, if this starts to break like some of these levels, like 308 or for sure 294, then I might want to wait to see how this plays out. In case this isn't this 3-wave, maybe that was just A, and then they got a B, and then now they're coming down, actually 1, 2, and then this is like a 1 and a 2, and then they're going to come down for 3, 4, and 5, and you're going to be able to get it a lot cheaper. So it looks really good, because obviously we're looking to go all the way back up. Come on. somewhere near there. There. I'll back up to $8. So from right here, 147%. So obviously that's not going to happen in the next 2 months, but that's what I would only be looking for is buy setups. And if you're smart, you just have a tight stop loss, like under 294, and then maybe you could just wait and let it fall. But if you're lucky, this is just the start of the third wave, and that's 1, and this is 2, and now all of this is just going to keep pushing up for 3, 4, and 5. So SIRI looks very tempting for sure. All right, we're going to move on to Advantage Energy. Now this one I would not recommend people buy just because it's an over-the-counter stock, and sometimes that is very tricky to trade. They're usually lower volume stocks, like this one. On Tuesday there was only 8,000 shares traded. On Wednesday it was only 12,000 shares. Friday, today, 37,000 shares. So it's not a high volume stock. So for that reason, I just wouldn't recommend it to anyone that's not already in it. But given that, it does very much look like they're going up for the 5th and final wave. So 1, 2, 3. Here was a nice 3-wave correction for 4. And now you're going up, and it looks like it'd be going up in a diagonal format. Come on. So we would have 1, 2, and it could be that this is 3, and that's 4, and so now it should be going up for the 5th and final wave. This isn't clear. This could be a running flat. Now that I just looked at it, this could be. Either way, it looks good. If this is the pattern, a running flat, then you got your 1, and this is 2. And now you're still going up, but you'll go up for a 3, 4, and a 5 for that 5th and final wave. So I only see upside for this one, and it did come into this green zone, which is really good, and it gave a really good response so far. So yeah, I'd stay with it, and then when you get up to 955, at some point you gotta be really careful, because at any moment that thing's gonna correct in a big way. So taking profit anywhere above 955 is smart. All right, we're going to move on to Cognizant. This one, it looks to me like this is going up in a diagonal, because I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 and 3 should be heading up to, no, not a diagonal. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, this is 1 up here, not a diagonal. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So target for this is up here in this blue box, 92 to 99. So Cognizant looks good, but up here somewhere, I'd think about taking profit, and you still have a ways to go, obviously. But yeah, you're looking at 20%. So this one looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There could be one more drop. So if you're not in it, because this looks like an impulse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this was straight down. So I could actually see this being the A wave down. They're chopping up here for B, and then they could still come down one more time, like to like 71, let's say. And then that would, I think, be an excellent place to be looking to go long. But either way, target is into this mid to upper 90s range. And Netflix. Okay, so Netflix, I've had this count for a while. Got 1, 2, and then here was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave. Here's 4, and so now it's going up for the fifth wave, and it's super close to breaking. So for people that are not in, I don't know. I don't know what you're playing for if you're not in it. If it were to do this one, and then like this three-wave move is just the A wave, and maybe it comes up for a B. And if it falls one more time down into the mid 600s, then maybe. But definitely buying where it is right now makes absolutely no sense. So if you could get it at like 660, yeah, I mean that's 7.5%. That's a good one. But where it is right now, I don't know. I think once it breaks 711, at any moment it could. This fifth wave is going to be ending. Now it could go up, to 720 or 750, but initiating along right here. I mean, you only have like a 1.5%. You'd have to get lucky for you to get something meaningful out of it. So anyone in it, anything above 711, then that's when you just need to start really paying attention and maybe pick a point of closing out, because you'll be able to get Netflix after a really big correction happens. Because after this big 5-wave move, there'll be something big coming. All right, so that's what Bitcoin. I almost forgot about Bitcoin again. Let's go on to Bitcoin. 2-hour chart. Okay, so Bitcoin just kind of going sideways here after the 8th, just been in this sideways range, basically 56 to, brief spike up to 65, but a lot of just 56 to 61, just a lot of price action in there. So looks very corrective. The bullish pattern is this WXY. That's one. And then they came down in an ABC, went up in an ABC, and then came down in an ABC. So WXY up, basically WXY down. Now it would have been nicer if they could have just dropped a little bit more into 57,047. It came close. So what is that? 57,700. Only $700 off. So, but basically, this has the potential of being 2. Now, given how big this first wave, if this is going up in a diagonal, given how big this first wave, this actually could all just be like the A wave, and now it's going to go up into a B wave, and I'd be really watching this red zone 61.3, 62.2 range. That could be the B wave. It'll come down one more, then it'll be in this green zone, and then it'll be much bigger correction time-wise as that first wave, and then that could be 2, and then it'll go up for a 3, 4, and a 5. So that's the bullish scenario. So that's the zone I'd be watching. Looks, very, very much like this was very choppy correction, and now you are getting a strong push up, and it already pulled back, and now it's starting to go back up. So this zone right here will be really important, because obviously if it blows right through it, then this 57.7, that could be 2, and it's on its way to go up for the third wave. But if it kind of bumps into here and then starts selling off, that could just be the B wave. Because I think this zone should be, there should be some buying if it reaches down into there. So yeah, I'd watch the red zone to see if it reverses from there. It's still a coin flip as to what this pattern, what the bigger pattern is. You know, bulls obviously are saying that this is all the correction down to 49,000. You know, this is very sideways, but obviously if this reverses hard all of a sudden, then you could be having a, like I said last time, a whole bunch of 1-2s, and Bitcoin could be easily down into this green zone here. So yeah, it's still hard to say with this sideways action what this is. But yeah, a rejection from here down into this green zone, then this looks like a good place to buy, but you'd have to be smart, because if it gets really aggressive selling, you know, not only could it break 49, but you could be going a lot lower into that green zone, into the mid 40s. So still going to need more information on what this pattern is, but you know, maybe a short-term buy up to there wouldn't be bad. But I think one more down is very likely if they're going to be making a diagonal going up. All right, that's what I see on the markets. Hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your likes and support. I'll see you in the next video.